All right, welcome to Sports Rants with Heyzeus and Spyder. This is Spyder, also known as RJ Wisney, and the guy you see right now, that is Heyzeus, and I'm going to let him take over.
Yeah. So basically, we're just a couple of kids. Well, I'm a kid. He's in the military. I'm a kid. But let's see. When did we meet? We met several years ago, like what, seventh grade, I guess, probably.
Yeah, junior high, seventh grade.
Seventh grade. We met in seventh grade, and we got along because we love sports, and that's pretty much all we talk about. And a couple of years ago, we flirted with the idea of just starting our own radio show. So we've been kind of, it's been on the back burner for a while, but was it a couple of years ago we came up with that idea, or was it
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Wow. I can't believe it took us 2 years to figure out how to do something very simple. But, so here we are. It's just going to be just a sports talk show where we just do whatever the hell we want to do, pretty much. I mean, it's just going to be fun. We're just going to basically talk to you guys about what we always talk about to ourselves. So,
Sports news and rants, such as the name says.
yeah. Rants about sports, that's key. It has to be, well, it doesn't have to be about sports, but that's generally the direction that it's going to go.
And I guess I'll kick it off. News to
Okay.
me, I found out today, Miles Austin signed by the Browns.
Okay.
Now, the thing that bothers me is that he's automatically going to be the number one on the roster.
Hmm.
You just signed a guy after you avoided him all free agency, and you didn't draft anybody knowing that Josh Gordon was possibly facing a season-long suspension,
Hmm.
and he's automatically your number one. I don't know, a guy off the street that apparently nobody wanted all offseason is
Hmm.
going to be their number one receiver. What do you think of that?
Well, he's an established name. I mean, it's not like he's a nobody, you know. I don't know. I mean, he's a veteran. He's been around for a while. I mean, I know he's not as physically in shape as T.O. has been, but I mean, T.O. did similar things, you know. So,
All I'm trying to say is, would you want your number one guy to be neglected by all other 31 teams?
yeah, I think New England does that quite a bit, and it works out pretty well for them. I mean,
I mean, even Carolina, who has absolutely no receivers, wanted nothing to do with Miles Austin. They worked him out and didn't want him.
yeah, but I mean, do we trust Carolina's decision makers? That's the question.
I
I don't
don't.
know.
I
Yeah,
don't know. They
yeah,
worked him out
exactly.
last year.
Yeah, track record's not very good though. I mean, not to me. I've been critical of them for the past several years because they wouldn't get rid of Jake Delhomme, which we should have got rid of him after the 2005 season. That was just me.
My boy.
But yeah, whatever. So I don't know. I don't think so. So you're saying they either should have drafted somebody to go along with Manziel, or they should have signed somebody better?
Or if they wanted him, maybe they should have signed him before the draft. Or I don't know. I find it hard to believe that a guy that no other of the 31 teams wanted him, and they're going to use him as their number one receiver.
Hmm. What did Cleveland do in the draft besides Manziel? I didn't even look at it.
They got a guard, Joe Batonio from Nevada. Um, I'm not sure what else they did.
I mean, did they draft any more receivers?
No,
I
they none.
wonder if maybe they were trying to trade to get a receiver, but it just didn't pan out, and so they drafted some other positions.
Possibly. But this is going into the next thing I wanted to talk about was possibly projecting the starting quarterbacks. Um, I think because of their decision, it's going to lead to Johnny Manziel starting in the middle of the season, even though they refuse to say that he's going to start this season. I mean, their
Hmm.
receiving core now, it's going to be Miles Austin, uh, Andrew Hawkins, Earl Bennett, and Nate Burleson.
Nate Burleson, he's an established name.
What has he done in the last 3 years?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
Well, but okay, so that means they'd be starting Brian Hoyer, right?
Yes.
Okay, how mobile is he?
He's fairly mobile, but I mean, he's no Kaepernick.
I'm just wondering, like, I always imagine these really bad teams that draft like a running quarterback need to just start those quarterbacks. That way, I don't know what their offensive line is like, but if their receivers aren't the best in the world, I feel like they're going to have to, figure out another way to move the ball. So Manziel seems to be like a good idea. I would just scramble with him all the time if the receivers are like really bad.
So,
Just
how many weeks do you give it until Manziel's starting?
uh, you know what? I'm gonna look at their schedule and then I'll tell you. Let's see. We're very professional if you're actually watching this. uh, you got to fill time while I'm looking.
Oh, I've got the schedule right here.
Okay.
All right, week one, or do you want the preseason schedule?
No, fuck the preseason. All right, so they go at Pittsburgh first. Okay, then they have New Orleans coming up, and then they have Baltimore. Jesus Christ, that's a tough schedule to start off with.
I say right there, at the bye week, that is when Johnny Manziel starts.
No,
No?
no, he's starting week one. He's
You
starting week one.
starting week one.
Yeah, he's starting week one. I think what will happen is Hoyer will start the preseason, and he's going to do terribly. He's going to be the star for the preseason. He's going to do terribly. Manziel, he'll probably have a couple of good games. I know there's only like what 4 preseason games, or is
Yeah,
there 2 now?
four.
There's 4, yeah. So he's going to have a couple of good preseason games, a couple of all right preseason games, but he's going to be the main starter. I just don't see, or if Hoyer starts the first game, he's not going to finish the first game. Not against Pittsburgh. If he starts, he's going to get blown up. And
He did a great job last year.
I didn't watch Cleveland last year.
The games he played in before he got injured, he did really well.
Yeah, but this is Manziel we're talking about here. I mean, how much money did they pay him?
Who, man?
Manziel. Yeah, Manziel.
Whatever the rookie cap is. I don't think he's signed yet.
Oh, so they can't they won't make more than veterans anymore, right? Isn't that what happened?
Correct. Yeah, there's a cap
Oh,
for every pick.
well, I don't know. That kind of lowers his chances of starting, but still, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like the way his career panned out, like in college, all the hope his high profile. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like he's going to be in the first game. If he doesn't start, he's going to be there like halfway through for sure.
I think the fans will sit and wait for a few weeks, but just it being Manziel alone, if they start losing, that's what's going to drive the fans insane, and it's going to make the owner push to start Manziel.
So you're saying he's going to come in week 5, right?
Yeah, because their bye week's week 4. I think they'll make the decision to put him in after the bye week.
So do you think they're going to go 0-3 because they have like Pittsburgh and Baltimore and New Orleans?
The only game that I think they can win out of that would be Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah. Cleveland's got a great defense, but
Yeah.
the offense is killing me.
Yeah.
When your number one receiver is Miles Austin.
You're just gonna rag on Miles Austin this whole show, aren't you? You're just gonna
I know.
throw him under the
You
bus.
can't just pick up your number one receiver off the side of the street.
Nah, I disagree. I think you can.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I feel like they're gonna start Manziel, but they're still gonna go 0-3. So there. I mean, that's just. I guess that's just how it's going to be. Actually, wait a minute. I want to check my predictions because I might have just contradicted myself. Nope, I think I have them. Yep, I have them going 0-3. So there you go.
All right. How about the Jaguars with Blake Bortles? They say they're not going to use him all year. What do you think?
That I don't know. I feel like teams always start the hometown rookie. Like he always plays at some point. If they don't start him, then he plays relatively soon. I don't know. Okay, if if you just look at the Jacksonville has the worst, business model in the NFL. Okay, they're one of the shittiest teams to go see. Like nobody goes to Jaguars games. It's been that way probably since their inception. I don't really know.
So
But
do you think because of that they should have drafted Manziel?
well, hmm, that's a good question. Um, hmm. Yeah, I guess because even though Bortles is a local guy, they might have been thinking he's a local guy, so that might sell us more tickets. But he's going up against Manziel, so I don't think that would have been the case. I mean, Manziel's known throughout the country. He would have definitely sold more tickets, more jerseys, more tickets than Bortles does. So maybe, I guess they thought the Bortles would just be a better quarterback. You know,
And I
what?
absolutely hope so because I hate Manziel.
Wow. I like his playing style. I don't care about anything off the field as long as you don't kill anybody or kill dogs. Then
or
we're good. What?
or shoot yourself.
I'm even okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah, yeah. Make it rain. I don't even care about a rape accusation. If you get convicted, then we'll get you off the team. An accusation, whatever. Deal with it. Do what you got to do. Might hurt PR, but that's all right. I mean, look at Ben. Look what Pittsburgh did with Ben. Works out. It works out. So I don't have any problem with any off the field issues. Do whatever the hell you want to do off the field. You can get drunk every Saturday night, party into Sunday morning. As long as you show up and win, that's all that matters. I don't give a shit about anything else.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
No, it's not. What? Are you the moral police or something like that?
So you would have been okay with Vince Young, who was clearly having mental problems and just like walking around all night, not answering phone calls from anybody, but he would show up to practice in games.
Yeah, I wouldn't have cut him. I mean, I don't know how his play was, but I wouldn't have cut him. No. I mean, if he's beneficial to the team, I don't care about anything else. If his personal problems are going to affect his play, then yeah, I wouldn't have cut him, but I would have tried to help him out. But if it doesn't affect his play, I don't care. Like you can do whatever. If you get thrown in jail or something, I don't know. It depends on what the crime is, honestly. I would honestly wouldn't even care if you've been thrown in jail, depending on what the
How well
crime.
did that work out for Cincinnati?
With who?
With everybody that year that they had like 6 people on their team going to jail and everything, and they said they didn't care as long as it wasn't affecting the play.
Was that when they had? Did they sign Pac-Man that year?
Yep.
Well, I I don't think you can blame their season. I'm not saying you can't blame their season for that, but I still would have taken that chance probably. If I thought, here's the problem. Okay. As a decision maker, you have to decide what's the best decisions for the team, obviously. If something affects team chemistry, then I would be hesitant to pull the trigger. You know, if somebody going off and partying or doing whatever doesn't affect team chemistry, which it probably does in most cases, but if it doesn't, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have like a moral problem with it or something like that where, we have to protect the reputation of our team by not signing these type of players or something like that. I say sign them if they perform on the field and it doesn't cause just complete destruction of the locker room. Then I'm all for it. But if you have guys like, if it causes problems in the locker room, you got to get rid of the guy unless it doesn't affect the wins and losses, which in almost every case I think it would. That's all I'm saying. I just don't think there should be like this moral. Oh, he he goes out and drinks late at night, so we don't want him on our team because that's stupid.
Well, what if it's violating team rules?
Fuck team rules. Like what team rules? You got to be in bed by a certain time. Oh, you make sure you go to bed by midnight. No, who cares? I don't give a shit about team rules. What team rules? What team rules are important here?
I don't know. Every team has different team rules. And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Who gives a fuck about team rules? I don't give a shit about team rules. I, Make sure you go to bed by midnight. I mean, that's like I, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like every team in the NFL has a curfew of some kind.
I'm sure
Which
that
on the,
during the season, I'm sure they do.
which on the one hand I can understand, but here's what I would do: I would have a curfew, and I would just let the players do whatever they wanted to do. If it affected their play, then I might either step in with rules, I guess, or I find somebody else that can actually is mature enough to handle their responsibility as an NFL player. But I just don't like the idea of just telling these grown men what to do about bedtime and what to do with alcohol and stuff like that.
I mean, it's in their contract. They signed their contract. They know they
Yeah,
can't do it.
I mean, I understand it's a business. Like if you were all right, if you were like a corporation or something and you hired somebody that liked to drink, okay, you obviously don't want them drinking on the job. Other than that, I don't care. I don't care what you do when you're not on the clock. And obviously, if there's a corporation, you have to work from this time to this time. So I can understand you have to show up for practice. Obviously, you need to show up for games. You're not going to get paid. You have to perform and stuff like that. But as long as you show up for practice on time, it shouldn't matter what time you go to bed. Stuff like that. It shouldn't matter what you do. If that type of stuff affects your ability to show up on practice on time and actually perform at practice and in the game, then I could understand being like, okay, well, if you don't shape up, we're going to cut you, and then you would have to have some type of schedule. But I just don't like the idea of just automatically, as soon as you come in, of course, if you've got millions of dollars invested in a guy, I guess you kind of have to be a little bit strict about stuff. But something just rubs me the wrong way about just, it just feels like you're parenting them, like you're babying them, like.
I mean, that was my point. You're investing millions and millions of dollars in these guys, and the rules are protecting them from ruining your investment. Is basically what it is.
Yeah, okay, I guess I can understand that.
You want them to be in optimum physical shape and
Yeah,
getting the sleep they need so it keeps them healthy longer and
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I guess that's true. I guess I'm thinking about the league back in like the '70s,
Where they
back
didn't care
before.
about health.
Yeah, I guess there's something appealing to me about that type of football. Just like, yeah, fuck it, we just show up. We partied all night, performed. It wasn't a big deal. I guess I'm just kind of partial to that don't give a fuck attitude. But
And Jack Lambert smoking cigarettes on the field.
yeah, yeah. I guess that's just my idea about football. Even though the reality is, these guys obviously are in top physical condition, so you wouldn't really want to jeopardize that. Yeah,
Unless you're like, okay, perfect example. Rob Gronkowski goes out, parties, breaks his arm. He's got back problems because he's doing stage dives and stuff. I mean, that's my point. You having curfews and alcohol limits and stuff like that when they're out, that it prevents that from happening to a superstar and wins. I mean,
yeah,
last year single-handedly, they could have won probably at least 3 more games if they had Gronkowski.
yeah. I can understand that. I guess you kind of have to with the money involved, but just still, I just like the idea of the Wild West football, just like I guess I'm just partial to that. That's really all it is, honestly. And I don't know, there's just something that I guess I have authority problems. I don't like authority. I don't like the idea of telling grown men what to do, even though that's kind of important for any company. You have to have people in charge to maximize efficiency and stuff like that. But I guess ideally, I just like the idea of just these tough guys going out chain smoking and drinking and coming in and playing a game of football, and everything's like zen in the world, I guess.
You clearly need to work for Google
Why is that?
because they have that free reign um, leadership view. You have no bosses.
Hmm.
You just do your work from home and be done with it.
Interesting. I like that. I might keep that in my back pocket. It kind of reminds me of. I hate to say this because I don't want to be proven wrong, but it reminds me of watching a documentary about Apple. I kind of got that vibe in some respects. Even though Steve really would bring the hammer down at sometimes, it did seem like he gave people a lot of opportunity away from Microsoft and IBM and stuff like that. Like Microsoft and IBM was just a very structured, this is how you do it, and Apple was a very creative and open company.
All right, we're getting off topic.
No, no. We're just no. This is good. This is good. We're a sports show, but we do other stuff. Come on. I'll give you one more example about this. Pixar is a better example. Pixar did that very well about not be being more open, and it's worked out very well for them. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So back to the topic that we were originally on. Blake
Amen.
Bortles, Blake
Yep.
Bortles, and starting for the Jaguars. Do you believe he won't play all season, or do you think he'll come in during the season?
Who else do they have? Blaine Gabbert,
Chad Henne.
Chad Henne. Ooh, I don't think. No, I don't think he's going to start. He's going to play any this season.
Do you think they'll stick by their word?
Do I think what?
They'll stick by their word and not play him?
Yeah,
Prediction?
yeah. I think they. I don't think they'll play him.
I I hope they stick to their word.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, they definitely have a receiving core for it. I like the draft that they had. We'll see though. I'm not. That's one of the ones that I'm definitely not sure on. I have no idea.
But you're 100% positive on all the other ones.
No, no, no. I have no opinion. It could
Oh,
anything could happen.
so you're apathetic. You don't care about Jacksonville, just like nobody cares about Jacksonville.
No, I'm actually very interested in Jacksonville's season this year because, like I said, I loved their draft. Besides the Bortles pick,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, they felt like it was the quarterback they had to go grab, though. So
Yeah.
you can't blame them. If you
I don't
if
even
you
know.
pick a quarterback, you got to get him.
I don't even know who else they got. I don't care about the draft, honestly. I know that these are the players of the future, but I just don't care about the draft.
No, I mean a lot of people don't. I put a lot of stock into it because it's what I'm interested in doing. So
Yeah. No, that's definitely true.
all
The
right,
baseball draft is coming up.
baseball
Yeah, the baseball draft. That's like the least popular of all the major drafts.
because it has like 130 rounds, and then not everybody
Yeah.
that gets drafted signs. It is the most useless draft in the world.
Not useless. Steven Strasburg, son. Strasburg, Mike Morse. Come on. You got to get. We don't have to get drafted, but
What I'm saying is they could just make it open free agency on everybody and basically have the same result.
yeah.
Because if a player doesn't want to play for a team, they could go to college instead.
Yeah. Yeah. Baseball draft. Yeah. I don't know. I've been watching MLB Network and they keep advertising, and I'm like, I'm kind of interested in that, but I don't know. It's just I don't even care about the well, the NBA draft kind of a little bit. just because I guess it's easier to relate to the basketball players than it is the football players. You know, because I feel like for me personally, it's easier to see basketball talent than football talent. Football to me is all the same. Like, this guy's fast, and it's just harder for me to relate to football players than it is basketball players. So
Football to me is way more mentally challenging than basketball.
yeah, yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Basketball, I don't know. NBA basketball seems to be. Well, I know for a fact there's not as much strategy involved as in football, but I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like NBA basketball is just mainly about your skill level. Even though they run plays, you know, it just seems to be mainly about your skill level. Can you get open? What's your athleticism? And can you break away? Like, of course, I've never been, except when it's at the end of at the end of the fourth quarter, and you have the coach with the board and stuff like that. I don't know. On defense, I feel like that's where the most of the coaching comes into play.
I
But
agree.
but I've never been a coach. I can just imagine somebody being like, you know, you don't know all the strategy that goes involved into an NBA offense. You think you can do it, you go and do it, or something like that.
I mean, there's strategy, but it's definitely not as much as other sports.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
I think it's more of a concept than plays,
Yeah,
playbook. It's concepts.
yeah,
If one person's moves out of the triangle, someone's got to replace them.
yeah, yeah. Maybe like take what the defense gives you, give your best player the ball, and let their athleticism take over. Pretty much. I mean, whether he's like a power forward like LeBron James or a center or something like that, or a point guard, you pretty much
Right.
give your main guy the ball and you do it, and then your shooters just have to run around and get open. The big guys that can't do anything else set screens, and that's the NBA.
I think you're simplifying it way too much, but
Well, what you just said there's not as much strategy as football. What's the
there's not. I don't know. A lot of it's concepts. Like the triangle offense, you have like three plays out of that offense, and the rest is a concept.
yeah,
Basically, it's your top three players, your center, or your big man, your superstar, and your third wheel. They have to form a triangle on the court at all times, no matter where they move. And the other two guys are just spacers.
hmm
I mean, you can run plays through that with the pick and roll and stuff like that, but
but the plays are your shooter runs around and gets open. Your big guys set screens. Okay. The guy that isn't. All right, I typically imagine a four man who if you have a 5 man who's a dominant center, he gets the ball in the paint and he backs guys down and he jams it and stuff like that. I imagine a four guy who really can't do anything except get in the way. Okay, he's just all he does is set screens and he passes the ball. I know that not all 4 men are like this, but this is what I imagine the NBA being like. I can't think of a good player that fits this. But every time I watch NBA basketball, I always who
Birdman.
Birdman, yeah, yeah, somebody like Birdman. Except he's actually pretty good on the defensive end. At least I feel like he
Yeah,
is.
we're talking the offensive end.
Yeah, but on the offensive end, or I think maybe DeJuan Blair did this a little bit too, or something like that. But Birdman's a good example. Birdman sets screens and he passes the ball. That role is very important to the NBA. The Miami Heat are actually a perfect team to give the example of what I was just talking about, because you have the player that can do everything, the LeBron James or the Kobe that just has to be one-on-one and make plays with their athleticism. Kobe in his younger days, obviously. Then you have just the shooters. Ray Allen, just a shooter. I think Norris Cole's, just a shooter. He's not really, that's his main thing.
Right.
Dwayne Wade, he's also the one-on-one player, although not as good as LeBron. And then you have just Chris Bosh. He's kind of like Birdman a little bit in this offense. Just screens, passes. Even though he takes some shots, he's not really the scorer. He's a body.
I would disagree Because when
Uh,
Chris Bosh goes for 15 or more, they're almost always winning.
how often does he do that though? What does he average more than 13 points a game?
Hang on.
I'm looking at.
I'm pulling it up right now.
I am too. Oh, it's on ESPN right now. I'm a dummy. I've been watching this Astros Royals game. Riveting stuff. Astros are up 5-0, and they're the worst team in baseball, so that's why I'm
Yes,
watching
the
them.
average is 16.2 points.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I still picture him like a body, though. I don't know. I mean, he's a mid-range guy, right?
What?
He's a mid-range guy. He's not a dunker. He's not a three-point taker, even though he can hit them. He's mainly a mid. When I see him shoot, he's from mid-range.
I don't know. This season he's been shooting a lot of threes. Um, It's because of the offense. The concept offense is he calls it the spacing offense.
Mm.
He takes about three threes a game.
That's not that much, though.
But for a four, or he plays as center. He starts at center. So as a five, that's quite a bit.
Can I just? I just want to bring something up. He starts at center. The man's arm is thinner than mine is around, and he starts at center in the NBA. I'm just going to point that out.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, he's a spacing four. That's
Yeah.
his position. But
Yeah.
in the
Yeah. He's a body.
the offense that the Heat run, you don't really have positions. In my opinion, it is go out, match up with the guy that you are best matched up for, and play.
The one-on-one that I was talking about.
Exactly.
Yes. So you're saying that the most high-profile team in the NBA is running the offense that I pretty much said the entire NBA is like. I'm just going to
Yes,
point
but I
that
think
out.
you're the only team that does that.
No, I don't know
Because
about
they
that.
can. Because they can. You have three, your big three, and then you have a bunch of shooters. So someone's going to get double teamed off the big three, so it's going to leave one of the shooters open.
Yeah. I will say the Spurs are one of the few teams I feel like that actually run plays, like legitimate, genuine plays.
And look how it works out for them. Every year they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. But other teams, I don't know. It's just kind of like we have an idea for a play, but then the guard's going to hold the ball, waiting to like pass it to the guy down low, and he's going to make a move. But it still plays out like the way I said, where the big guy has to take his men, the shooters have to get open, and the high-profile talent does their thing. Like that's every NBA team. If you don't have a superstar guy that can actually take people one-on-one, you're not going to be successful in most cases. It works in college. It doesn't work in the NBA.
I agree.
So you have to have that one guy. Do what?
I said I agree, unless you're the Spurs.
Exactly. Unless you're the Spurs. The Spurs are one of the few teams that actually run a decent offense as far as just execution goes and setting it up and stuff like that. Having an idea for the offense. I'm actually gonna turn it to the Heat game so I can better exemplify what I'm talking about here. We can actually do some live commentary here.
No commentary.
Yeah, I own half of this show. I earn a half of the profits. We're gonna do it my way. We're gonna do it my way.
That actually it brings something up to me, talking about coaching and everything.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest issue and the thing that bothers me absolutely most in the coaching world is there's no contract loyalty with coaching at all, whatsoever.
Why should there be?
Because it's contract. The players have to abide by their contract. Why?
Players make you money. Players make you money.
So do coaches.
Players sell jerseys. Manziel has already made more money from jersey sales than I would say any coach has. except for the big winning coaches. I guarantee you he has more money now than the well, he hasn't signed yet
But that's why players make more money.
because of the coaches.
No, because of the marketability.
Exactly, and that's why they get locked into long-term contracts because the team gets a cut of that. Coaches don't
But,
have that.
but they have to honor their contracts. Coaching, they don't. I mean, whether it be college coaches leaving for the pros, that one I can understand, absolutely understand, and colleges should understand that as well. But when college coaches jump from college team to college team after their second year of a 7-year contract, that kills me
Why?
because it's a contract. You signed to do 7 years with that college, and that
But
college.
you have to have an opt-out clause or something, or else they could sue. If you, I mean,
I don't think they do. I
there
don't know.
has to be. If there wasn't, all these teams, all these colleges would be suing all these coaches for leaving. There has to be something in there that says you can opt out after a specific period of time.
Maybe I don't
We
know.
just don't hear about we hear about opt out clauses in players' contracts, but we never hear about coaches' contracts. Besides, we hear enough of the coach's contract to say, oh, this coach might stay at this college for 7 years. That's what we hear. When we hear how much money they make, but when we hear players' contracts, we hear their signing bonus, we hear any opt out clauses, we hear basically all of the conditions of their contract. Coaches, we just okay, whatever. So we don't know if there's but there has to be an opt-out clause in these contracts. You can't just leave because you would get sued especially if you've paid a coach a lot of money. Which
It also goes hand in hand to me with owners firing coaches after their first year of signing a 4-year contract and stuff like that. I mean, it goes both ways. It bothers me beyond belief.
but it's still legal.
Yes, legal, yes,
Okay,
but
so you're not arguing that they're breaking the law by not honoring the contract.
no, I'm just saying
Okay.
I
Okay,
don't
I
know,
see what you're saying.
the lack of loyalty with coaching altogether. It's getting
Win
ridiculous.
now or go home. You got to win now or go home.
Then sign him to a 1-year contract.
Well, but if you do that and you win now, you're going to have to pay him more money, and other teams are going to want him too. So you want to lock him into a deal and pay him as little money as possible. If you lock him into a one-term deal and he wins for you, then you're going to have tons of teams willing to pay him even more money than you are, and you're going to have to pay more money that way. If you lock him into a long-term contract, you end up paying less. If he's a good coach. If he's a bad coach, you just get rid of him.
But the trend that it's going is that they never fulfill their contract because they get a contract negotiation. Because they want to keep their coach that bad that they'll pay him more.
What's your problem with this? I don't understand your problem. Is this just a problem where you don't like the idea of people not being loyal?
Yes, I don't know. Like, if you're in a
Why does that
contract,
why
because
does that bother you?
because it's gotten worse over the years. Like,
Then why does it bother you in the first place?
it it never bothered me before because people were honoring their contracts and people got fired after the end of their contracts. Not It doesn't happen after the first year of
Let's just face it.
every
Does
year.
this bother you because you're an aspiring coach and you don't want to get cut immediately? 8 games into a season.
No, I'm just saying that it's ridiculous. If you sign a football coach, you know that it's going to take more than 1 year to succeed. That's why you signed him to a multiple year contract.
Okay. Okay, but time out. We're also not factoring in here what coaches are available at a specific time. If you are if you're a team in search of a coach, there might not be any names that you're crazy about.
Okay.
There might be a coach who will be available the year after this year, but you need a coach this year.
Yes.
But you're not going to get a coach to sign for a shitty contract, so you have to offer him a good contract. But there has to be a way for you to get out of that contract.
Aren't you though? Any I don't know. Me personally, if I was an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator, I would take a 1-year deal as a head coach over staying at a very smaller salary as a coordinator or defensive coordinator.
Okay. Well, that's fine, but But what owners are going to do if there's a guy that they want later on, they're just going to sign whomever to whatever and wait until they can get the guy that they want. Then they'll lock him into a long-term deal. If he performs, then they honor the long-term deal. If they're sure that he's going to be there, they might not allow for an opt-out clause because they don't want someone else to get him later. But all these coaches leaving their contracts all these owners not honoring these contracts means that they don't trust the guy, and you can't really blame them for that because
then don't sign him for a 4-year contract.
But he won't. But he won't sign. You need somebody now. You need somebody this season. He's not going to sign for a 1-year deal. Someone else will offer him a 2-year deal. So you have to offer him a 1-year deal, or
I
not
refuse,
a 1-year deal, whatever.
I refuse to believe that a coach wouldn't take a 1-year deal because they know that if they don't perform for another team on a 4-year contract nowadays, that they're going to get fired.
But they're still going to get more money. They're still going to get more money that way. A coach is not going to sign a 1-year deal if he thinks he can get something more, and most of the time they get offered more. So I don't understand your problem here. I don't understand your problem here. What you have a problem with? Besides the fact that you're afraid that if you ever get into the NFL to coach, you're going to sign a 7-year deal, thinking you're golden. Then after the second or third year, you get canned because you're going to want to be in charge of all the drafting operations and everything, all the executive decisions. Yes, all the executive decisions about who you sign. You're going to be the general manager and the coach, and you're afraid that after 2 years, you're not going to get your system into place, and that bothers you.
I can only dream to be Mike Shanahan.
Mike Shanahan. Oh, what a failed situation that was.
In Washington, yes, it was because of the owner. Dan Snyder should not be an owner.
I don't know that much about him. It doesn't seem to work out for them, though.
I don't know. I have this belief that you can't be buddy-buddy with your best player.
This just in, Chris Bosh dunked. Really strengthening my argument about what he does.
I'm just saying, the last game that they played,
he's got 17 points tonight. I wonder how many were in the paint.
That means they're going to win.
No.
According to my theory.
Statistically speaking.
According to my theory.
All right, so I'm trying to observe this offense to see what players are doing what. And the big man is, I don't know. It just seems like the regular NBA that I always see. The talent does what it does. The bodies do what they do. Shooters do what they do, and that's the league. Look, Ray Allen, the shooter, what is he going to do? Obviously, he's going to shoot.
It's because Ray Allen doesn't have the knees to do anything else.
Well, he's always done that.
I don't know. He used to definitely take people to the hoop.
Yeah, but still. I mean, he made his money by threes. I mean, the guy's the leading three-point taker. It's not like he really did anything else.
Just to prove you wrong, Chris Bosh is 3 for 4 from 3.
This game?
Yep.
And there's a mid-range jumper by Bosh. That's just in. I swear the majority of his shots come from in between the three-point line and the paint, because that's where I see him shoot the majority of the time. He's really useless to the Heat. I'm just going to point that out. I think they would be better served getting somebody that's more of a paint player.
I think Chris Bosh is the most important player on that team.
Oh, I can't even comment on that because you're definitely saying that to get a reaction.
No, I'm being dead serious.
No, you cannot be serious. There's no way you're serious.
You cannot get another 5 to do the things that he does in that.
Can you get another LeBron James?
What I'm just saying.
Is he more important than LeBron James? Are you gonna I'm not on air. You're gonna say that he's more important than LeBron James.
Okay, maybe important wasn't the word.
Okay.
He is the glue to that team.
Who gives a fuck about glue when you've got LeBron James?
The Cavaliers.
LeBron James took the Cavs to the finals with nobody.
But they
He
didn't
doesn't
win.
need glue.
But they
It
didn't.
doesn't matter. He doesn't need glue.
He won with the glue, and he didn't win without the glue.
Uh, the glue just happened to be there. The glue was not the reason that they won.
I beg to differ.
No, Chris Bosh was not the reason. The reason that they won. No.
I didn't say the reason. I just
You
said
said the glue was the reason that they won, and then you said that he is the glue.
no. I said that he is the glue, and
The
LeBron
glue
James
is the
hasn't
reason
won
that they
without it.
won.
I'm just saying LeBron needs the glue.
LeBron doesn't need that much glue. He needs like that glue, the purple glue that kindergartners buy. He doesn't need like.
Everybody needs a Robin.
Yeah, but Chris Bosh isn't a Robin.
He's a Robin.
No, he's not.
How is he not a Robin?
Okay,
Who's the
I'm
leading
gonna pull
scorer
up.
in the game? Who
I'm,
is the
I'm gonna
leading
pull
scorer in
up
the
a
game?
list of the Super Friends.
Who is the leading scorer in this game tonight?
Doesn't matter. It's early.
Chris Bosh.
First quarter doesn't matter.
He is 7 of 9 right now,
Doesn't matter.
and
He
LeBron is
Chris Bosh is Aquaman.
what?
Okay, Chris Bosh is Aquaman. LeBron James is Superman. Dwayne Wade is Batman. Ray Allen is Robin. I'm looking at the Super Friends right here. Aquaman is the one that tags along, doesn't do shit. He's just there for the ride. That's Chris Bosh.
Chris Bosh has to score 15 for them to win. I mean,
No, he doesn't. And Birdman is Wonder
it's
Woman.
almost a guarantee.
Birdman is Wonder Woman. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm sure they would get along very well.
Oh,
I'm not assuming anything about Birdman's reputation, his criminal reputation. It's not because he has tattoos or anything. I'm just going to throw that out there.
that is profiling.
It is, but he's white, so I can get away with it.
Look, I'm just saying, when in wins, Chris Bosh averages 14 points a game. In
It doesn't matter. Statistics are useless.
he scores
Statistics
10
are
points.
useless. Statistics are useless.
I disagree.
They don't mean anything. You can
Okay.
make your statistics. You can make your statistics say anything. They
Disagree.
don't matter. Oh my gosh. Statistics are the most pointless creation on earth. They don't mean anything. They mean very little. Let me put it that way. They're not the main thing that you should base your life about
I
or
was
any
gonna say-
decisions.
I was going to say, if they didn't mean anything, then why is the position of quarterback judged on rings?
Why? Okay. Okay. Let me put it to you this way. Why does Dan Marino have more rings if he has all the other statistics?
His teammates.
Exactly. Statistics are meaningless. If are you telling me-
Number of rings is a statistic.
Yes, that's one statistic. He owns well, he doesn't anymore, but he owned a lot of other statistics. Those statistics are meaningless as far as, meaningless compared to winning. I mean, there's something you say, oh yeah, he threw for all those pass yards. That's really great, but you don't care, and it doesn't matter. The rings are what matters, and that's one statistic. Those other statistics don't matter. You're just like, okay, you threw really good. Where's your rings at?
So what you're saying to me is that a quarterback can't be good if he has no rings.
No, he can be good, but who cares?
You're telling me Trent Dilfer is a better quarterback than Dan Marino was.
No, I wouldn't say that, but I would say which one's more important. Which one matters?
Dan Marino matters.
Okay, he does matter, but you'd rather have the ring? That's what matters.
I would rather have Dan Marino.
I'd rather have the ring. I'd rather have the ring.
I would just rather not have a sucky defense.
You'd rather have what?
Not have a sucky defense.
I don't know. I would have agreed with you in the past, but not anymore. Not about rings. You gotta win.
I don't believe that you can judge the performance of one player by rings.
Mm,
We don't judge defensive people on rings. We don't judge how good a wide receiver is off rings.
true. That's
The only
true.
position you judge rings off of is a quarterback, and I think it's garbage.
I could see that point, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, but to be fair, wide receivers aren't calling plays, and they don't set the tone for offenses.
Quarterback plays one side of the ball.
So does every position.
Exactly my point.
So why should we judge nobody on rings? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Nobody but coaches.
But coaches don't play at all.
But they control every player.
They don't control the way every play occurs. They didn't control Santonio Holmes' toe drag.
I
They
mean,
didn't control Kevin Dyson's tackle by Mike Jones. They didn't control that. Dick Vermeil didn't control that.
but they coached the player to be in the right place at the right time.
What about if an audible's called? What do you do then?
You have to be okay with that quarterback making that audible, or you're going to call a timeout.
That's a load of bullshit.
You can call a timeout when an audible's. I've seen it happen.
That's true, but
You've seen it all the time with Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert would audible to a play, and they would call a timeout.
okay. Wait, are you talking about the players themselves calling timeouts, or are you talking about coaches?
Coaches.
Okay, that's true. But how many times have you seen quarterbacks audible to a good play?
A lot.
Exactly. Coaches didn't have anything to do with that except for
Coach,
putting the actual audibles in place originally, which I can understand getting credit for.
exactly.
But they're not the ones calling it during the game.
But they coach their quarterback to see that, so they can call it during the game.
Unless you coach Peyton Manning, then he just sees it anyway. The coach doesn't mean anything.
And Peyton Manning is going to be a coach after he's done. It's destined to be. And
he's gonna be.
Tom Brady predicted that both him and Peyton Manning were going to be coaches.
Okay.
I don't know. I seen that today in an article, and I thought it was absurd.
Why is that absurd?
Because I don't think Tom Brady will get a job as head coach.
I think it will. He's gonna be like George Seifert. Yep, I'm calling it.
Wow.
I think Peyton is going to coach children.
You don't think he'll go big level?
I think he will eventually. I think he'll be a quarterback coach. I don't think he'll be an offensive coordinator.
I definitely think he will start out as a coordinator.
I don't know. I can see why. I feel like that would be the best fit for him. Like, obviously because he's going to know everything that you need to do as an offensive coordinator. But I imagine him working for a team whose owner is like Al Davis and wants to control everything, and they're just not going to allow him to do it, even though it would make perfect sense for them to do it. Like, they're just going to be like, nah, we're going to get this other guy in. You deal with quarterbacks, and we'll get someone else in. Like, what was that offensive coordinator for the Raiders? The big guy.
Art Shell?
No, not Art Shell. He was white. Who was their head coach recently? Like, who's this big white guy? I don't remember.
I don't know either. Raiders aren't relevant to me.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look that up.
What's your point, though?
My point is that the only time he wouldn't, I feel like he's going to be in a situation like this guy that I'm thinking about. I don't even remember who it is, but they're going to put this shitty guy in that position, and he's just going to be the quarterback's coach. And You're going to get this really shitty guy to call the plays, and that's going to be like his first gig. He,
Well,
he,
I can actually see that because he's going to have to develop a playbook.
yeah, I mean, that
Cause
wouldn't be that hard for him.
no, but you're going to have to get it together. You're going to have to get it on
I'm
paper.
sure. I'm sure what he's just going to take all the offenses that he's already used and use those because they're good.
I mean, it's could be.
Yeah, it's not like it's going to be that big of a stretch. I mean,
I agree.
Tom Cable, I think that's who it was.
Oh yeah, it was Tom Cable.
Yeah, exactly. He was like their offensive line coach,
Yeah.
and boom, we're going to promote him. That's what it's going to be for. That's what it's going to be for Peyton Manning. He's going to just be the quarterback's coach. They're going to hire some jackass like that guy, and he's going to be sitting in the wings waiting for an opportunity. Then he's going to go to like Seattle, be a head coach for a while. They're going to have a losing season. He'll get hired by somebody else. I'm I'm predicting his career path.
I noticed. I love how you gave up on Pete Carroll already.
He did win already, yeah. I
Exactly. He
still
didn't stay
I,
there for a while.
I still don't picture him as a good coach for some reason. I guess because of his past NFL experience. I don't picture him as a good coach.
That's absurd.
Uh, you're just a homer.
Mm, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's what it is. That's what it is.
I think Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah. Why did you bring that? Why did you get on that tangent? Where did that come from? I don't. I don't understand. You just wanted to throw that out there. By the way, in case you didn't know, I know there's no one else knows this, but I think he's the best quarterback ever.
I'm
I,
just saying.
I,
You were talking about how I was a homer, and I said it was possible because I think he's the greatest quarterback.
why does that make you a homer?
Because I love Peyton Manning.
You do realize homer means where you live.
Yes, but that's not what you were talking about. That's not what you were implying at all.
No, yes, it was. I was implying Pete Carroll used to coach at USC.
Yes, but I've never lived in California
That's
until
true.
until last Wednesday.
Well, that's true. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Your bias is clouding your judgment as far as Pete Carroll goes. That's all I'm gonna say. Pete Carroll's not that impressive to me.
I thought you were talking about Peyton Manning. I had no idea that you were talking about Pete Carroll.
Well, it was for that split moment, yeah. That's why I called you a homer because of Pete Carroll.
Uh, maybe.
I was like, why? How does Peyton Manning make you a homer in any way? You never lived in Indianapolis. You didn't go to Tennessee. You didn't live in Mississippi. You don't live in Colorado. I was like, how does that make you a homer? I don't understand.
Well, I also think you can imply homer as if you like.
Nomenclature, nomenclature.
uh, all right. What do you think about Jets? Mike Vick. Do you think he's gonna start, or do you think Gino's gonna get the job?
Hmm. Let me think about this. I think that Vic is going to get the start, and it's going to be awful, and then they're going to put Gino in like 6 or 7 games into the season.
Even though Mike Vick has proclaimed that he is not the starting quarterback, he is there as a backup.
There's he has to say that his PR is bad. He's got to find a way to get PR back. His
Is it
PR
bad?
sucks.
Is it bad anymore?
Yeah.
I think he has definitely improved his PR since his dog killing news.
Saying he's improved it is like saying, well, we built the Twin Towers up 2 feet, and it's an improvement. Based on where it was, yeah, it's not that much of an improvement. Okay. I mean, anything is an improvement from what he was originally at. So it's not that much of an improvement.
I'm just saying. I think he has gained most of his reputation back.
No, he hasn't. No, from considering what his reputation was before that, it was sky high. And then where it went nowhere. And there's no way he's not even 40% of what his reputation used to be. No way. He might be at 25 at the most. There's no way he's up higher than that. No. No. I'm sorry, but there's just no way that's true.
I think he gained a lot by taking backseat to Nick Foles last year and not complaining about it.
Oh, please. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody.
In NFL circles, I think he has gained a lot of respect.
Oh, and NFL circles. I thought you were talking about fans. Fans don't give a shit.
No.
In NFL circles, maybe. Unless they really love their Chihuahua, then they're never going to forgive him.
Chihuahuas are safe as long as it's not a pit bull.
That's true. Pit bull owners never going to forgive him.
So who do you think gives the team a better chance to win?
The team that what?
A better chance to win.
Between who?
Vic and Gino.
Oh, I thought you said which team.
No.
Vic's going to win. Vic has a better chance to win, but he's not going to stay.
I think the Jets have a good team this year.
I don't know. I haven't looked at their roster or their schedule.
I think if Vic starts, they have a good team.
No, they're going to have a terrible team if Vic starts.
They're going to have a terrible team if Gino starts.
Well, yeah, it would be worse. But they're pretty much going to have a terrible team no matter what they do.
I mean, Vic was winning in Philadelphia.
That was Philadelphia, though. This wasn't the Jets. So I have the Jets going 4-12, 13 seed.
But you did your predictions before the draft.
That's true. It doesn't matter.
And free agency.
I don't care.
That doesn't even make sense. Like, one player signing can change the predictions immensely.
Don't care.
Obviously.
Pittsburgh is going 15-1.
What?
Yep. Yep. We might need to save that for another show.
Yeah, definitely. Just keep those to yourself at all times.
This is my teaser.
Doing it before free agency and the draft is absolutely.
Ah, who cares what you have to say? I don't care what anybody has to say. Fuck you all. I'm doing what I want to do.
All right, so you think Vic's going to start week 1 and then Gino will end up starting?
Yep, sure do. Probably either week 4 or week 7, somewhere around there.
I think Vic starts after week 7.
Okay, we'll see. You know, we're probably not going to remember any of this shit anyway.
I'm writing it down.
You're writing it down?
Yep.
Okay, I never go back and check anything. Which might be a good idea to not check anything I've ever said.
Because of your 15-1 predictions.
Maybe.
Yeah. What do you think about Houston and Andre Johnson?
What's happening there? I don't know.
Basically, Andre Johnson is, I don't know, he hasn't threatened to hold out, and he hasn't voiced what he wants. He's not showing up to anything, and he has voiced his frustration, saying he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuilding. But he hasn't demanded a trade. He hasn't demanded a release. Huh?
He's stuck there. I don't think he's the type to really bring something up.
He's already brought it up.
Well, yeah, but still.
I think it's absolute frustration with the quarterback position because he didn't bring it up until after they didn't draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's right. For some reason, I know this is really dumb of me, but I thought that they got Manziel.
No.
In my mind, I was like, this is going to play out perfectly. They're going to get Manziel, so I just kind of thought they did. You know, I know they didn't.
What they should have done is they should have restarted the David Carr saga.
What? With Derek?
Yeah.
You're being a homer again.
I'm just saying, I think that would have been a great. Are you saying that Ryan Fitzpatrick gives them a better chance to win than Derek Carr?
I don't know. I do know that they should have picked Manziel. That's what I would have done. By the way, I went 129 and 125 last year predictions. It's not bad.
It's not good either.
It's better than you did. 'Cause you never do these things.
That's You have way too much time on your hands. I have things to do.
That's true.
I know.
I went about 50. I went 50.8%. It's not bad.
Hmm. Debatable.
Yeah. Do you have like 2 minutes of talking material that you can do without me?
No.
Damn.
This show,
I knew this was.
this show
I knew
is
this.
called Heyzeus and Spyder, not Spyder.
Yeah. Well, Heyzeus has to take care of something on
That's perfectly
life.
fine. We can end our first broadcast now and pick up
I
next.
don't. Well, I don't want to end it. We didn't even get to our two main topics.
I've been hitting topics.
Yeah, but we didn't even get to the ones we discussed before the show. I want to get to those.
I mean, if you've got to go, then we can just pick up on the next show.
No, I don't want to do it on the next show. We're going to do it this show. You just need to give me like 2 minutes.
No.
Come on, we got to bring this up.
Or you can bring it up now.
I have to take care of something.
Then we can end the broadcast.
No. No. We have to talk about these.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so you're gonna stay on the air.
Yeah, I'm staying on there.
We don't have any listeners anyway. It's not. It's not like we're the Howard Stern show or something. All right.
Go.
Okay. All right. Just keep them busy.
All right, well, he's gone. We're going to cover the other two projecting starters that I was going to go over with him is the Vikings and Houston. We were talking a little bit about Houston, but the Vikings they've openly said they want Teddy Bridgewater to start day one, but they also have Christian Ponder. I'm not a big Teddy Bridgewater fan at all. And I definitely think that he's going to prove to Minnesota that he's not ready to start. As everybody says, he's the most NFL-ready quarterback that had came out of the draft. I disagree. And I think either Matt Castle or Christian Ponder will end up winning that race. And judging on their schedule, I haven't looked at their schedule, but I think if they struggle, that will force them to bring in Bridgewater just because of the fans. And Houston. Houston's quarterback situation is a complete mess, in my opinion. You've got Ryan Fitzpatrick and Case Keenum, who proved that he was terrible. I don't think they drafted anybody. I'm going to check real quick. And I mean, if you were Andre Johnson and you had the quarterback conundrum that he's had his entire career in Houston, I'd absolutely think that he deserves to be able to voice his frustrations and just they should release him. I know it sounds terrible, but all right, I was wrong. They drafted Tom Savage. They have Ryan Fitzpatrick, Case Keenum, T.J. Yates, and the Tom Savage. It's clearly known.
Okay, I've got an idea.
All right,
Did you say anything while I was gone?
I did.
Okay, what'd you talk about?
I talked about the other two projecting quarterback starters that I was going to cover with you, with the Vikings and in Houston.
Okay, hold that thought for 1 second. I got an idea.
Okay.
Just something to keep in mind. We're adapting the show as we go. I thought of this while I was outside. Um, if we ever need to like take a commercial break or something, let's just show a video, like a sports video from YouTube.
We can do that.
Just whatever you want. Like if you need to go, I'll just pull up a sports video and talk about it, and then you can do the same thing. I mean, you had something to talk about, but just an idea.
Yeah, we can do that. It's a good idea.
Okay. Okay. That way we don't just. No, thank God you just didn't sit there, but I had to take care of something.
All right, so I'm going to finish what I was saying.
Okay.
Quarterback situation in Houston, I was actually wrong. They did draft Tom Savage. They've got Ryan Fitzpatrick, Case Keenum, T.J. Yates, and Tom Savage at quarterback.
Case Keenum, wasn't he the voice of Shaggy?
What?
Oh, that was Casey Kasem.
You're retarded.
That was a joke. The audience is out there laughing right now. You're the one that called me retarded. They're actually laughing. Just imagine Shaggy as a quarterback in the NFL. Just think about that.
That would no. That's oh.
He would be broken in half.
I mean, he's tall.
Yeah, one hit. I try to. Have you ever watched Sports Science?
Yes.
When John Brinkus gets hit, that's what it would be like, except worse.
But he gets up.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said it would be worse.
And he's also like 5'4".
Yeah.
Anyways, that quarterback situation is a complete mess. I would never want Fitzpatrick as my starting quarterback, and never to be backed up by Case Keenum.
Does he get like is he like Blaine Gabbert where he gets a little bit of shell shock out there?
I don't know. I haven't watched too much of his games. I watched him the year he started in Buffalo.
I got an idea.
Yes.
Let's pull up some Ryan Fitzpatrick stuff and just watch it.
Why would we just watch it?
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about it and analyze it, but we need to pull it up.
All right.
I'm trying to pull it up, but I don't know how to. I want to be in charge of the.
I got it.
But I want to pick a video. You might pick a video I don't want to watch because I don't like your style of porn. So.
All right, you can see everything I'm doing, so you tell me which one to pick.
I can't see what you're doing.
Oh, can you not?
No.
No, it sucks for you.
Fine, just pick one. I don't care. We should have done this before the show.
Alright, it's Patrick. Let's see. We'll watch 2013 highlights.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Got everything.
See, what some people don't realize is that you can't still.
Oh crap, I messed it up. Unmute your microphone.
See, what some people don't realize is that
You don't want to. Don't. We can't play music. You gotta turn that music down. Did you turn it down?
I got you.
Okay.
I don't know, like, he didn't do bad with Buffalo, considering it was Buffalo.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want him as my starting quarterback. If you're Andre Johnson and you've gave however many years, I think he's been in like 13 years. Yeah, it'll be 13.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want him as a starter either, but he's still, I don't know. I'm just trying to wonder what's up with him. Why he doesn't do so well.
Because he played football at Harvard. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's part of it, but why can't these Harvard guys figure out how to play football? Seriously, I like watching the Harvard Yale game, and it there's something about it like they're not physical enough.
It's because all the physical specimens go to other colleges,
Yeah,
football
yeah.
colleges.
I mean, you'd think they would be smart enough to realize how much they have to work out to be competitive. Why even have a football team if you're not competitive? Figure that one out, Harvard. Harvard guys aren't so smart when it comes to football, but maybe that's part of it. They just don't train very well for football. Like they're just not tough enough, I guess. They don't train enough as far as toughness goes. Like go to Alabama. That's all Nick Saban does.
Or maybe it's just because Alabama steals all the good prospects.
How do you steal them? Are you talking about? Are you talking
I
about
mean,
the?
not stealing, but he
Yeah.
recruits them
Okay.
because
Yeah.
they have a better NFL career if they go to Alabama.
Yeah. But what? But yeah, that's why he steals them though, because they actually try there.
Or maybe it's the coaching.
It's all the above. No one cares about Harvard football, but the only thing Alabama has going for it is the Crimson Tide. Like the entire state, that's all they have. I know I just made Auburn fans mad, but I don't give a shit. All they have is the Crimson Tide there. All they have is football there. So it's no wonder that those players are better.
I mean, I don't know. Fitzpatrick's not too terrible, I guess. I mean, he's definitely better than Case Keenum and a
How
rookie.
long's Keenum been in the league for?
Keenum, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Yeah, he was pretty terrible last year. But so was TJ Yates, even though 2 years ago Yates showed that he had some promise. 2 years. Keenum's been in for 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Keenum wasn't terrible. He had a 78.2 quarterback rating, 9 touchdowns to 6 interceptions.
That's kind of bad.
I mean, yeah, it's not good, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I want to look at Blaine Gabbert's career statistics.
Why would you do that?
Because I like that stuff. I like shitty football, shitty sports.
All right, so you said we haven't got to the two main topics you wanted to talk about.
Do you want to talk about any more stuff before that?
No, let's
Okay.
do it.
Let me just look at Gabbert's statistics here. What's the difference between passing and advanced passing? I don't understand.
Advanced passing are the little.
Oh, they're not the same statistics, are they? Never mind. I thought there was just okay. So Blaine Gabbert. Let's see, 2011. Was that the year he was drafted?
Yeah.
So he went 50.8%, 2,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and he was sacked 40 times. Okay. So, I mean, that's for a rookie, I guess that's acceptable to me. 51%, 2,200 yards is awfully low, though. And it was 5.4 yards an attempt. That's all right. 2012, he went 58.3%, which is better, but only 1,662 yards. That is so low.
Look at the receivers he was playing with, though.
And he only played 10 games. So. And 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's so low. I don't even know who his receivers were that year. Who was his receivers that year?
What year?
2012.
Not Blackman, or was that Blackman's rookie year? That was Blackman's rookie year. Blackman, Cecil Shorts was just making a name for himself, and probably Laurent Robinson.
Okay, so 2013, awful. That's horrendous. He only played 3 games though, but
Yeah.
it was still, yeah, that was bad. 48.8 completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 7 interceptions in 3 games. That's over 2 a game. That's not good. And sacked 12 times. That's 4 times a game. That's awful. That's not
And
good.
most of those weren't because of the line protection. It was that he held onto the ball way too long.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's pull up some of his games. I want to try to pull that up. Let's look up Blaine Gabbert NFL. Here's some. This is his first NFL game.
I can't see anything that you're doing.
Up. Is the video up for you?
No,
Why?
I don't know, but you're lagging like crazy now. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
What year do you want to watch?
Just any of it.
Oh, there it goes. It was already on my queue, like we were watching it.
Oh, do you see it now?
Jaguar on this roster, like.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
What was that?
Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now against New England?
Yep.
Okay. All right. It's too small of a sample, obviously. We need more. There we go. Right on cue.
I mean, it wasn't a bad pass though.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. He's getting the ball out quick. This was his rookie year, too.
Yeah, I mean, what I think did it for him. I mean, I wasn't a big Blaine Gabbert fan coming out, but it was their offensive line and receivers. Yeah, it's the David. I call it the David Carr disease. You go a year or two without a good offensive line or receivers, you're going to get pounded back there your entire career, and it's going to make you skittish.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 300-pound men coming at you that run like a 4.6 40. That's like a train.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what happened. Poor guy.
I mean, in my opinion, he didn't have, too high of a ceiling, but I didn't expect him to do as terrible as he did. But
I liked him in college, but
that's why I don't agree with teams building around a quarterback. You should have to build your team and then get your franchise quarterback. You're going to ruin your quarterback if you don't.
Yeah. Can anybody see this video, or is it just us?
Yeah, everybody can see it.
Okay, just wondering. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any teams that actually build around a quarterback successfully, but I guess the Broncos kind of did that with Peyton. No, they already had a team set up.
I mean, the successful teams that successfully mold a quarterback have already had a team. I mean, think Andrew Rodgers.
Andrew Rodgers.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers. I was thinking of Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck at the same time. Andrew Luck.
Yeah, think about those at the same time. It's pretty hot. Discount double check for STDs, if you ask me.
That is ridiculous.
Andrew Buttfuck.
Andrew Rodgers.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
All right, so what were the two major points that you wanted to talk about?
Well, the two that I was going to talk about, one of them were yours. I figured we could start with the one that you brought up yesterday.
Day before yesterday.
Yeah. And then we could talk about, I guess.
I forgot the one I brought up.
Oh God! Look at there he is.
Oh, you're watching it? I'd already
Yes, I'm watching it. He doesn't look anything like an NFL quarterback. He looks like a scrawny surfer dude. It's, there's no wonder that he imploded.
Anyways, so what was the topic that I wanted to talk about? Because I completely don't.
The PAT.
Oh, jeez.
We didn't air it. We didn't air it.
No, I said oh, geez because of my frustration.
Okay.
Because because they've confirmed for the first 2 weeks of the preseason, they're moving the PAT back 5 yards.
Still not gonna matter.
They're moving it back to the 15-yard line, so it's going to be a 32-yard kick.
See, they're wanting to phase it out like I think they should.
And
they're listening to me directly. I have a direct voice to the NFL, and they're doing exactly what I want them to.
And I'm a complete purist, and I think that they should keep the extra point.
Purist.
You're changing the game more than just a small aspect of the game.
Should they be pure and not allowing black players to play? Is that what they should do too? Because that's the way the game was originally created.
That's not.
That's the way the game was originally created.
That wasn't a rule, though.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was.
Was there a written rule that said no black players?
I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't.
It was written into everything back then. I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
But we've already talked about this. The forward pass wasn't always there. You're a purist. You wouldn't want the forward pass. Yeah, exactly.
The extra point has always been there.
Well, the forward pass was always not a part of it until it was. So, you know.
I'm just saying I would be more acceptable of them getting rid of the forward pass.
Can I just bring something up? I just want to bring something I just thought of while watching these highlights.
Okay.
Get rid of the fullbacks. Get rid of fullbacks.
Most teams have.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
Look at what Denver did. Denver didn't have a fullback.
Yeah.
And they had Virgil Green, tight end.
Yeah.
So they just, if they had any fullback formations, they would put him there because 9 times out of 10, tight ends are going to block it as efficiently as a fullback can.
Yeah. And plus, they can go out for passes, and they're just better suited for that. Yeah. Let's check that out. We'll have this playing while we talk.
Check what out?
Just some Denver stuff. Some Denver highlights. Do you want to keep talking about the PAT?
Yeah, I mean, you brought it up, and we can talk about it.
Yeah, we just didn't get to the full. We should try to recapture what we did originally.
I mean, I don't know. I am a purist of the game. I'm against all the physicality rules. Trying to take the physicality out of the game just because of well-being of players. They get paid a lot because those risks are in the.
Okay, but you just said earlier in the broadcast about the money involved.
I mean, yeah, it's partially because of marketability, but you also think it's because of that risk that you're putting your body under.
It's 100% of the reason why the rules are in place. It's about the money. Player safety equals money.
I don't.
I wish it wasn't that way. I agree with you, but
football is a physical sport.
I agree.
You are supposed to kill receivers going across the middle of the field as soon as they touch the ball. That is.
I agree.
That is football to me. If you're not tough enough to take that, don't play the game.
I agree. But that was changed in the 70s.
I mean, not really, because Sean Taylor was murdering wide receivers streaking across the middle of the field when he played.
Oh, you're not talking about the 5-yard contact rule. You're just talking about
physicality altogether. I'm talking about the hits that they've been outlawing recently.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Roger Goodell is just trying to put his name on the game more than it needs to be.
He wants a legacy. He wants a Paul Tagliabue legacy.
Exactly.
That ain't
But
gonna happen.
the reason Paul Tagliabue has his legacy is because he didn't do
Yeah,
a lot. He
he got
let
out of the way.
players play, and he did his job as a commissioner, and he just overseen things. He wasn't trying to make it his game.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any fullback here. I'm still
Exactly. I
watching.
mean, they really
Yeah,
they didn't play a lot.
yeah. I used to hate Brad Hoover because I hated fullbacks. I was like, just
I
fucking get rid of him.
love I love Brad Hoover.
Well, I don't know about him personally. Just get rid of him. You don't need a fullback. You really don't. I don't even know how the average fullback is at pass protecting. Like speed rusher, forget about it. You're done for.
I mean, it depends on the fullback. You go into Seattle and look at Seattle's fullback, and he's a beast.
No, actually, Marshawn Lynch is the beast. Just clear
Yeah, but I mean,
that up. The fullback doesn't have a mode named after him. Okay, I'm just saying. Oh, Matt Castle, poor Matt Castle. I would have pulled the trigger on him too. I thought he was going to be pretty good. I liked him. I still like him for some reason.
Matt Castle.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to win the job in Minnesota?
Who's he up against? Teddy Bridgewater and
Christian
Christian
Ponder.
Ponder? Nah, Bridgewater. I think Bridgewater's going to get it.
Yeah, they're pretty adamant that they're going to start Bridgewater.
Yeah. So, I guess I'll get into why I think we should. I'll get into my position about the PAT.
Okay.
Unless you want to get in your position a little bit more.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Here's my thing about the PAT. Me and RJ looked at the statistics the other day, and PATs are made, I think, 96% of the time. Okay. This is getting to the fundamental argument that me and him had the other day. They're made 96% of the time. After a touchdown, nobody cares about the PAT. You're waiting for the next kickoff. You're sitting there and you're like, let's say the opening kickoff, you were excited about the game, you're hyped up and you're cheering the opening kickoff. The opening kickoff happens. Let's say the team runs it for a touchdown. You're excited. It's your team. You're excited. You're cheering and everything. The energy is up and everything. And then you have to go through the motions of a PAT. Does anybody care about that PAT? Nobody cares. When they're cheering during the PAT because of the touchdown, and then they cheer like 10% of what they did for the touchdown at the PAT. And the PAT is made so often that there's no uncertainty about it. RJ was saying, sometimes they miss PATs, but I looked at the statistics for last season. They were made over 95% of the time. Now, his position, and you can jump in if I'm wrong, but his position was that's just the way football is. Correct? Kickers need a role,
Yeah,
and
I mean, they're trying to phase out kickers because field goals are already getting phased out of the game, in my opinion. You know, if it's a 35-yard field goal or anywhere from 35 to 40, I would say 7 out of 10 teams are going for that fourth down.
yeah, but the odds are in their favor, though. I remember seeing something several years ago about this guy saying that teams should go for it on fourth down more often than they do, which I kind of agree with. But my position, so his position was more of a football purist standpoint, which nobody cares about football purists except for the football purists. I can't stand football purists. I hate, especially when they're NFL coaches. They just rub me the wrong way.
You shut your video off.
What?
Your video's off.
My video's off.
Yep.
Shouldn't be. No. I still see my face.
Anyways, continue.
But with 2-point conversions, there's more uncertainty about a 2-point conversion than an extra point. Statistics prove. I know I said that statistics mean nothing, so I'm contradicting myself here. But their extra points are made 90% of the time. I looked it up. Last year, 2-point conversions were successful, I think, 43% of the time. That's much more uncertainty. Fans don't care about extra points until it's 24 to 23 with 1 second left on the clock. The first 3 quarters, nobody cares about extra points.
So, are you in agreement that they are going to make I don't know, what was it? 2-point conversions worth 1 point? Are you okay with that?
The number of points is arbitrary. I wouldn't care if touchdowns worth 5 points. I don't care about the point system as long as they're in direct. As long as there's a direct relation between a field goal is worth half of a touchdown. It doesn't matter if it's 4 for a. If you want to do 4 for a touchdown, 2 for a field goal, and 1 for a safety, whatever. I don't really care that much. The number is arbitrary. What matters is the relation of the scores between what you do. That's what matters. But the 2-point conversion is more uncertain. And when you look at the players during an extra point, early in the game, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, when you watch the defensive lineman of an extra point, they get down and then they go up, but they don't even try on the extra point. Field goals, yes. Extra points, no. It's like it's meaningless. They're kicking an extra point. You're like, I don't care.
Well,
now,
maybe that's just a fundamental problem. Maybe people should coach the defense to block an extra point.
Now, I will bring 1 point up. I didn't think of this when we talked about this first time. Look at the college double overtime rules. I know it's double overtime, so the stakes are already higher, but look at how successful that is. It's much harder to get a 2-point conversion than it is an extra point. Extra points are made 95% of the time. 2-point conversions are 43% of the time. It adds an excitement. And my point was to have an exciting game. I said I hate running plays. They're boring as shit. I understand that that's what a lot of people like about football, and that's what RJ likes about football. To me, I want to see high-flying excitement. And I think, now, even though RJ is a fan that really wouldn't want to see that, I was arguing from the marketability standpoint of the league. He was arguing more of this is how the game is played. Am I right? That's what football is.
Yes.
And I hate that attitude. Anytime someone has that traditional attitude, I hate it.
If you take the extra point out, it's you're changing the game so much that it's not
good.
That
no. How do you feel about the 3-point line in basketball? That wasn't always there.
I also think that teams, I don't like the way that it's gone because nearly anybody can shoot that 3-pointer now. It's almost got to the point where it's not that big of a deal having a 3-point shot hit.
Yeah, it is.
It's really not, though. It's not. Because, when the 3-point started, only certain players could hit a 3-point shot.
Who cares? Who cares if more people can hit threes?
I do.
Why?
I don't know.
It's more challenging. It's harder to hit a farther away shot than a mid-range shot. It adds more excitement to the game. It adds more space to the game. It adds more speed to the game. Those are all great things. And that's what I was arguing about football. You get more excitement.
I don't know. Going with the same theory that you're going with the PAT, then you would agree with moving the 3-point line back 3 foot.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Let's make it extend from the top of the 3-point key extends to half court. And then you have just a little space past half court, before you even get to the timeline. The rest of it's twos. Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure that you were on the same wavelength for all sports.
Yeah, just make it exciting. That's what matters to me. RJ's point was more of this is the way the game has always been played, which is absurd. My point is an excitement standpoint.
Well,
an excitement and a marketability standpoint.
I don't think you're going to be able to market that much more just because you're not having extra points. In my opinion, you're not going to sell tickets just because you don't have an extra point anymore. You're going
And
to sell the same amount of tickets.
and here's where I disagree with him about this. All right, here's how games today go: 7-7, 14-7, 21-7, 21-14. The extra points, they can matter if they're missed, and it is exciting. I will grant you, it is exciting when they're missed because they're so routine and so mundane that when they're missed, people get extra excited about it. But it doesn't happen enough to warrant, in my opinion, which I value the excitement of the game. It doesn't warrant that. But imagine a scenario where you have to go for 2 all the time, or a 2-point conversion. It can even be 1 point. The point doesn't matter. What matters is the system in place where you have to get it in the end zone again from a certain distance, a shorter distance. It's much harder to get that 2-point conversion. So when the team scores a touchdown first, it'll be 6-0, and then they have to go for 2. The chances of them making it is less. So it might be 6-0. And then the other team has to go in and get another 2. If they score a touchdown, they have to get a 2-point conversion to get in the lead, which makes the uncertainty of the game higher, and it makes it more exciting. The uncertainty of games, any game, whether it's poker or any sport game or any type of game at all, the uncertainty of it is what is important.
Okay, so would you just be okay with them moving the extra point kick back further?
That would be a step in the right direction, yes. Whichever one is the most difficult, that's what should happen, in my opinion.
I'm okay with them moving it back.
Yeah, make it from like the 25-yard line.
Because you have a different breed of players who can kick that distance easily. I mean, it's the same thing as, like we said in the NBA with the 3-point line.
Yeah, I would not mind that. I feel like, let's see, I think I would rather have a 25-foot extra point, or 25-yard extra point instead of a 2-point conversion from the 2-yard line or whatever. That would be better. But you got to have that uncertainty, the excitement, and the marketability. That's what football is about. RJ was arguing it's about
move back the extra point and both of us be happy.
Sure, yeah. I guess that would work. But he was not factoring in the marketability, the excitement, and we also got into. You want to talk about offenses? We can talk about the offenses. I want to get rid of the offensive line. I do. Offensive line is boring. It's just boring to watch. I mean, I can't stand it. Just have. It's like touch football except you can tackle. Just have wide receivers, quarterback. You can bring in some offensive linemen if you want to run, but I don't know. It's just boring. I can't stand watching a 4-yard gain, a 4-yard gain, a 4-yard gain, a 4-yard gain. It's just boring as hell to me. Now, however, if I see any pass play, it's more exciting. If I see, even if it's a 5-yard slant route, at least there's more uncertainty involved. Is the pass going to be completed or not? Is it going to break away for a touchdown? Running plays, to me, it's like when I see a running play, I expect a 4-yard gain, a big pile up, which I know most people love that part about football. To me, it's boring. But when I see a breakaway run, he's got people around him and he breaks away. That's what I expect. I'm not surprised by that. I expect to see every running play do that. And when it doesn't live up to that expectation, I just don't care. Passing plays, on the other hand, always have an excitement about them. And isn't there I honestly wouldn't mind if it was like the Arena Football League. I like the Arena Football League. They pass all the time. It's great. I love it.
It's terrible.
No.
There's a reason why a lot of fans don't watch arena football.
It's because they've been conditioned to watch the NFL. That's a big reason.
Is that what it is, or is it just terrible?
No, we're used to the logos. We're used to You know, we're used to that. And the logos in the AFL are cheesy. It's indoors, which I don't think people like. If it was outdoors, it'd be better. The field is too small. It should be a bigger field. Those are reasons why people don't watch the AFL. It's not because they pass all the time. Look at
No. So basically, what you're saying, the AFL with all the stipulations that you just thrown out equals the CFL
how so?
because all the rules for AFL carry over to the CFL. They just have a bigger field. It's outside. Um,
Okay.
and they throw all the time.
Okay. But it's in Canada. That's why nobody cares. If it was in America, people would care.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's a fact. Nobody likes Canada. It's a scientifically proven fact that even Canadians don't like Canada.
I don't like Canada either, but it's not why I don't like Canadian football.
Eh, I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was going to add about this. I think that was pretty much it. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to add about that subject. I think I pretty much made my point.
All right.
Just about the excitement.
What was the second topic that you wanted to go over?
I'm trying to think if I want to go over it. I don't know how to structure it. I know it was about sports uniforms. Do you remember what we were talking about sports uniforms?
Basically, you said that the uniform, made the team. It's marketable.
It doesn't make the team, but it's important.
Yeah, it was. Basically, you were saying that it is an extremely important aspect of the game, and I said that I don't care.
Exactly. You were more about the performance, which I agree is the most important part. But uniforms are important for marketability. Once again, I'm all about marketability and excitement. RJ said the other day that he would be fine if all teams just wore black and white. Right? You just said I don't care about home team wears white, road team wears black. All teams in every sport, I don't care.
Yes.
Okay. Here's where he's wrong. First of all, that would mean less sales. That would mean you couldn't sell hats and T-shirts, which that's the reason that professional sports exist, is to make money.
Just throw a name on it. Just throw a name on it.
No, no. People like color. We want to see color, and that's what we get.
I mean, I understand that, but I don't know. It's
okay. What you're saying is, as long as they have a name on it, you're okay with it, and as long as there's a difference between, the teams, you're okay with it, right?
yes, because I don't. I mean,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty much what exists.
Yes, cool uniforms are okay. I'll be like, oh, that's a cool uniform. Yes, but I could care less.
But what we have is already what you have. What we have is already what you just said. As long as they're both different colors and they have names on them. But we also have added in the fact that people like color. We have all that combined already. We have the difference as long as they're different. We have their names on the jerseys, and we also have what I said, which is color. So we have that perfectly. But so I think we're both in agreement there. As long as they're both different colors, and the names are on there, and there's color. But
no, it doesn't have to have color as long as there's.
But I'm saying we have to have color. We're both of our needs are met. I'm saying there needs to be color. You're saying as long as they're different and they have names on them. So we're both getting our needs met as far as this. The situation that exists is getting both of our needs met.
Yes.
However, the people there's so much more marketability in color, in identity, and that's what I was arguing. He was saying it's not, the performance matters. It doesn't matter about the uniforms, which I completely disagree with, because you're not gonna be able to sell anything, and selling is the game. Obviously, you have to have performance too. You can't be like, hey, we got these great uniforms and shitty teams. Obviously, the performance is what matters the most. But he was trying to say that uniforms don't matter at all, unless I'm putting words into his mouth. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't care.
No, I mean I don't care about uniforms whatsoever.
Exactly, and he's missing out on. He would not make a good owner. I know you want to be an owner. You want to be a head coach first, I think, but you might want to be an owner too. You'll be
Um,
terrible.
Manager.
You'll be terrible. You don't. Yeah, you're not going to make the team any money because you're not going to care what the uniforms look like. You're telling me you don't like the Yankees
Winning
uniforms?
makes money.
Winning does make money, but why do why do why does Dallas memorabilia sell more memorabilia than Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh has more wins. Why does Dallas sell more stuff?
Just because of the history behind the team.
But there's a Pittsburgh history too.
But there's more behind.
No, I don't know about that.
I don't know. Probably because Houston's a more populated area.
But I don't know about that. But Dallas stuff is sold even outside of Houston.
It's America's team.
Exactly. And why is it America's team?
I have no idea. You tell me.
It's because people like their uniforms. It's pleasing to the eye.
Their uniforms are not pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, okay, maybe not to you, but generally speaking, they are. Pittsburgh uniforms, first of all, they're asymmetrical. You got the logo on one side. I understand the gimmick, but people don't really like that unless you like Pittsburgh. A lot of people don't like that. It looks tacky. The left side of the helmet with just solid black looks awful. It looks ugly. Second of all, the yellow, I mean, it's bright, but it doesn't really catch your eye, even though it's bright. It's just like, yeah, it's got black and... Well, their black helmets, white away shirts, and yellow pants don't look good at all. It looks like someone puked with a lot of pepper in it.
I like their uniforms more than I like Dallas's.
Well, that's because you're weird. But Dallas's uniforms are very symmetrical. You've got the star, which is symmetrical. You have the blue and the metallic color go well together. People like that. It just looks better. That's why they sell more memorabilia.
Whose
Part of the reason
uniforms
why.
are the best in the league?
Whose uniforms are the best in the league?
Yes.
I actually wrote something about this. Let me see if I can find something that I wrote about it.
I think I don't know. It goes down to 3 for me.
Okay.
One of them may be a little bit of a homer, but I think they're absolutely
Panthers.
the all-black Carolina Panthers.
That's pretty ballin', I'm not going to lie. And there was an NFL, I don't know if you saw this, but there was an NFL.com poll that had them ranked as number 1.
And then Arizona's black uniform.
Those are badass too. I like those.
And then the powder blue Chargers.
I'm not that impressed. I know people love it, but I'm not that impressed. It's kind of plain to me.
But it's just, I don't know. People put too much stock into uniforms.
Oh no, you're missing out on so much.
Like Oregon, they change their uniforms every year, and everybody's so excited about it.
Yeah, I like that. You know why? It's because the offensive line play gets boring, and people want to see color.
That's no, just
yes, just admit it.
just a little Sports Center breaking news right now. You know Josh Beckett threw a no-hitter yesterday, right?
Yes.
All right. The Dodgers are pulling it off again.
What?
Jin Ryu has a perfect game through 7 innings.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yep. And also Miami's up 18 points on Indiana.
I want to try to pull up this perfect game going here. There we go. I was going to say something else. What was I going to say? Oh, I ranked the uniforms somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. I don't know if I've done this, or I thought about doing this, about just ranking the NFL uniforms. But my favorite uniforms in the NFL. Let me think about this for a minute. Okay, I just want to point out the Jaguars uniforms are the worst in the league right now.
Why?
That dual look on the helmet is not working. It looks terrible. It looks like puke. It's not good. The Bills uniforms are so terrible. They're the ones that have the red helmet and the white helmet. They're both terrible.
You know what I've discovered? I figured it out.
What's that?
People that need a uniform aspect of the game are the people that don't like breaking down the film and watching the game for what the game is.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Most of the people that I talk to that like looking at the rookies and scouting players and stuff like that, they could care less. They care about the
Yeah.
game and less about it. It gives the fans something to worry about because they can't figure out how to scout.
This just in, the Reds have 1 run and like 4 hits. So that you were way late on that perfect game stuff.
Aww.
And one of my favorite MLB players, Brian Wilson, is on the mound because that fucking amazing beard and just his eccentricity is appealing to me. So tune it to the Dodgers-Reds game. You got to see Brian Wilson.
No.
Yeah. I was telling that to the viewers, not you. I don't care about you. I was talking to the viewers. The one viewer that's watching.
We have no viewers
How do you know?
because I have a little thing that says 0 viewers.
Oh well. At least it's in the archives. You have to act like they're there, or else, you got problems. But, okay, so let's get back to the NFL uniforms. The Giants, I don't like the Giants uniforms. It's just, I don't know, that's too much blue. My favorite NFL uniforms. It's either.
I see you being a Tampa Bay.
Oh God, no, absolutely not. They're atrocious. They're so ugly. That pewter looks terrible. I like their orange ones. Their old orange ones.
Oh, I know it. Oh, that's terrible.
What? No, their old orange ones were good.
Their creamsicle uniforms are terrible.
No, bring those back.
No.
We need to show. I know we don't have any viewers, but we need to show them anyway.
Everybody knows the creamsicle uniforms. If they're watching our show, they know the creamsicle uniform.
I know. But we need to just bring up this majesty. It's not working for me.
All right, so who's your favorite uniforms?
It would either be the Raiders
Oh.
or the Cowboys. I really like silver, but I don't like silver mixed with bright colors. The Detroit Lions blue is a little bit brighter than the Dallas blue, so I don't really like that. The Panthers colors with the silver, But it either be Oakland or Dallas.
Terrible.
I can't pick. The ugliest would either be, let's see, the Bills red. God, the old Bills uniforms with the white shirt and the blue section of the name tag. It looks off, and the red helmet, it just looks gross. I'm not a big fan of the Bengals uniforms, even though they're popular.
Worst uniform. Vikings.
No, they're nice. Those are good.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. The Jaguars are terrible. The Bears uniforms are terrible.
Bears all blue?
Yes, it looks ugly. The orange is alright. The orange t-shirt's alright, but it looks terrible with that blue helmet. Same thing with the Broncos. I wish the Broncos would have, I don't know. Maybe if they had an orange helmet, that'd be too much, but The Bucks uniforms are terrible. Cardinals uniforms are nice. But my favorite would either be the Raiders or the Cowboys.
The most plain ones possible.
No, no, the most plain one is either the Browns or the Colts or the Chiefs. One of those. I don't like the 49ers uniforms either.
There's nothing wrong with 49ers uniform.
There's nothing right about it either.
I mean, it obviously wasn't in my top 3, so.
Let's see. Who was your top 3 again? Minnesota, I think.
No. All black Carolina, all black Arizona.
Oh yeah.
And powder blues.
Yeah. I just have 2. I don't know.
The uniform guy only likes 2 uniforms.
Yeah. Yeah. In the NFL, yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go into other sports. Uniforms. Why not? This is my segment of the show.
Let's do this on next show.
Okay.
I gotta go do some stuff.
Okay.
So we'll wrap it up here and continue possibly next weekend.
All right. I need to stay in contact with you for a second after the show.
Okay.
All right, cool. Whenever you're ready.